If you've been unfortunate like me, finding yourself falling down the rabbit hole of YouTube dating content, then you must have heard of the phrase high value male or female. And I have a big problem with the term and how people use it. The notion is degrading, ridiculous, and wrong. But first, what is a high value male or female? According to those who use the term, a high value male is different from a high value female because
men and women are not the same.
Obviously. So a high value man is a rich man, a six-figure earner, a baller, a rapper, a celebrity, the guy who can offer women luxurious vacations in the Maldives every year, the guy who owns 3 private jets and 35 Bugattis, right? While a high value female is a younger than 25-year-old virgin.
Men like younger women.
They value purity and youth.
Then they want purity, fitness, right? Children.
And men don't feel like they're respected if you don't give them the final say. Men value femininity, fertility, and they value youth.
Those are sensible definitions, right? You can clearly see that. I mean, what in the world would be my problem with any of this? Well, first, it is the meaning. It reduces men to material possessions and asserts that a man is only of high value when he has lots of money. Essentially, a man is as valuable as his wallets. And I don't believe the average male population wants to be seen that way, not even the ones with all the money in the world. We all want to be seen as people with dreams, fears, joys, desires, and personalities. How pathetic it is to reduce the worth of a man's personhood to how much money he has. That's what insecure rappers do to flex on their haters. That's not what a regular human male wants to be seen as. And if the rappers are honest, neither do they want to be seen that way. Men are human beings, not ATM cards. We have an identity, essence, and purpose that transcends our bank statement. Reducing us to how many people we have stacked up in a safe is insulting and degrading, and no man should be okay with that. The definition of a high-value female is also degrading because it reduces a woman's worth to her bodily characteristics, as if a woman is nothing more than her virginity.
Your virginity is the most valuable thing you can give to a man.
She gives you her time, her heart, her commitment, her service, her trust, and her love, but none of that is as valuable as her virginity. Are these people serious? You can see how shallow and objectifying this is, but it is also ridiculous. Just imagine calling something so mundane highly valuable. I'm not saying virginity isn't good or having money isn't great. These things are valuable, but they are surface value. A woman's youth is surface value. A man's wealth is surface value. Beauty fades and money fails. You can be rich, wealthy, have everything, yet you are morally bankrupt. You can be beautiful, young, and a virgin, but bland and stupid. Shouldn't something of high value sit deep within and not lie on the surface? Yet, surface value is what people are regarding as highly valuable. In my book, a person's strength of character and intelligence level should make them highly valuable, not the balance on their credit card or their body count. That's like finding the icing on a cake more valuable than the cake. And finally, the use of the term is wrong. I mean, what is it based on? How do people arrive at this dangerous definition? We all know that value can be objective and subjective, but the red pill propagandists are declaring this with great objectivity, but based on what?
And the way I look at this is not in 2023 standards. I look at history.
Adam was the first high-value man, obviously. I mean, he owned a garden. And Eve was obviously the first high-value female because she married as a day-old virgin. But then there's Abraham, who married Sarah when he was a nobody moving from one city to another. Was he high-value then? Was that why Sarah married him? I mean, he lied that his wife was his sister and gave her to a high-value male king. Do you remember that? And what about Sarah? She was barren until her 90th birthday.
Men value fertility.
Children.
So is Sarah high value? Was she? Was that why Abraham married her? Why didn't Abraham kick her to the curb because she could not bear him a son? And what about Abigail, wife of King David, who used to be the wife of Nabal, and Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, who used to be the wife of Uriah? I mean, King David definitely valued virginity so much. That was why he was busy taking other people's wives. Even Jesus said, "What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?" Didn't he know that the man will gain high value status? And he also said a man's worth doesn't consist of the abundance of his possession. But I've been told that he's better. So let's consider the alpha male Muhammad, peace be upon him, who only went after high-value virgins like the wife of his adopted son. History has endless instances of high-value men like King Henry and Herod marrying high-value virgins like their brothers' wives. But I'm sure those are a few isolated incidents, and let's grant the claim that humans throughout history have always valued riches and virginity. If that is the case, does that mean that slavery is good? I mean, for as long as we can remember, slavery wasn't considered wrong until recently. How about human sacrifice or child marriage? Look, all this happened and we are celebrated at different times throughout human history. And that is the case, that we have views that have been prevalent throughout history doesn't mean that those views are right. This is textbook appeal to history fallacy. And today, what constitutes objective standard for a high-value male or female is highly debatable, and a huge part of it is heavily subjective. People value different things. That is the fact of human existence. Like, I'm not a fan of ladies in their early 20s. I find many of them immature and obnoxious, and I don't want a yes sir for a wife. I want a wife, not a secretary. I need someone to tell me when I'm wrong and lovingly call me to order because I know I make mistakes so many times. I want someone who trusts my leadership, not a person just following my lead because she thinks it's my birthright as a human with a third leg. These are a few things that I consider more valuable than virginity and youth. And for me, these are the qualities of my high-value woman. And I employ the red pill evangelist to show me without pointing to fabricated history why my standard shouldn't be the standard. See, these guys are making unintelligent assumptions backed up by zero evidence and fallacious arguments. They've created this fictional man who represents all men. 1 minute this man is a 1% sugar daddy, the next minute he's a minimum wage worker at Starbucks. 1 minute he's a baller or a rapper in Miami, the next minute he's an incel with no game living in his mom's basement in Ohio. This fictional man obviously has multiple personalities, depending on which one can best prove a stupid argument.
You are the prize, therefore you must act like the fucking prize. You don't chase women.
And normal human beings can quickly see just how nonsensical the whole thing is. In reality, a high-value man doesn't exist. What exists are women who are into men with Lamborghinis living in penthouses. And a high-value woman doesn't exist. What exists are men like Leonardo DiCaprio who finds immaturity sexy and attractive. The rest of us often find these things ridiculous and prefer to spend the rest of our lives with our best friends.